gasoline benefits everyone in America. And that means, Gary, that the Republican Party is very likely to be more successful in the midterms as a result of this. So this, first and foremost, I don't think there's any honest person in your room that would dispute that this agreement has produced lower gasoline prices, and it will help Trump massively politically. Now, second of all, let's talk about the future of America, right? The future of America is America needs allies, and leaving the IRGC in power forever, I think, is very good for America. So here an argument for why leaving the IRGC. The IRGC they're the biggest scumbags in the world. They can't resist funding terrorists all over. Leaving the IRGC in power is very simple. It means that the IRGC will be funding terrorists trying to kill the Saudi royal family. They'll be trying to kill the leaders of Dubai. And no one on your stage has ever made this argument that it is a blessing for America that the IRGC is so murderous and so cruel and so eager to kill Saudis and people in Dubai. It makes them our allies. And I'll tell you something else, Gary. There would never be an Abraham Accords if Iran wasn't such a collection of scumbags and they weren't killing so many Sunnis. We'd never have the Abraham Accords. The final thing I'll say is everyone in America complains about the high taxes we have to pay to protect the world. Well, what this accord means is that the scumbags in Iran are going to continue to provoke all their neighbors, and their neighbors, including Dubai and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, they're going to massively increase their defense spending. So the more that the Sunni countries increase their defense spending, the less America has to spend. So the IRGC is the world's best enemy to have. America needs an enemy. We have, for the permanently of all time, we have the scumbaggest of enemies. And the only people in my view who don't want the IRGC as America's enemies are the progressive community. The progressive community are the real villains. The IRGC is a useful enemy to have. The real enemies of American progressives. I'm done speaking, Gary. Thank you for welcoming an erudite, contrary point of view to your...
I don't know whether erudite... I don't know whether
I don't think it fit the definition of either erudite or well-educated.
Right. That's what I was starting to say.
And my takeaway is his foreign policy is basically murder is good.
Well, he wants the Arabs killing the Arabs.
Well,
that's what it comes to. He hates the Muslims.
Yeah, just so he can get
and he wants
gas. Just so he can get
right.
I guess that was a hit and run. Did the regime of Iran, it came to the power yesterday? Last 47 years, these Arab countries, the Sunnis, the population couldn't get together in 47 years and take care of this murder in Iran, right? And now he is coming to tell me, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. It's already. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's obvious that increasingly, this whole pan-Arab dream of Nasser is gone. The Arab nations are learning that they want to get along with the West, and they want to engage in international commerce, and they want to get rich, and they want us to get rich. They want everybody benefits. That's really what the Abraham Accords leads us to. Increased commerce, which is a good thing. If we are partners with people, we are all trading with one another, and we both benefit from one another, that's a much better mutually exclusive, mutually beneficial and mutual assured destruction on the other side of the coin than nuclear weapons, because it's a positive, it's a carrot, not the stick, to keep us getting along with one another. You don't have to agree with the philosophies of these various nations, but if we're trading with one another and exchanging not just commerce but culture with one another, that keeps us going as a society. we are no longer able to say that we are in our little cocoons in our various nations, and what happens elsewhere in the world doesn't affect us. It does affect us. Even Americans recognize that now following 9/11. So to suggest that we want a huge conflagration in the Middle East because, we'll have Muslims killing Muslims, which I believe is really what he is suggesting here. And he's so angry at progressives because progressives may be against war. I don't know. Either that or he's totally.
Oh my God.
But I allowed him his opportunity to speak unimpeded. So I don't want it to be said that I only allow a certain point of view on this stage. There's the proof
And he
that
kicked
I
me
don't
before that,
accuse
so
me of
definitely content
creating an echo chamber. as
narrates
put
that he
it.
does create
Alan,
echo
followed
chambers.
by Merrill.
Gary, as a follow-up to that, I really want to thank you for allowing him to go on, even though I thought what he had to say was absolutely despicable. This should not be about personalities, and it should not be about whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I want to point out his comments in general.
I started actually to start with that.
And these are all traits that many conservatives have allowed themselves to fall into. I am very grateful that my good friend Marshall, for what he had to say today. To me, this is about trust as much as it is about anything else. And I don't trust Trump at all, and I don't think it's worth even giving this idea that this could be right or wrong any airspace, because I don't think there's a chance.
This might be the reason why.
Right.
Before you post your next video, check this real quick. Most people skip this part, and it's costing them reach.
It doesn't matter. The Republican Party, as this guy said, if it benefits from this deal because gas prices come down, that shows me that the Republican Party is not interested in anything except self-interest. I don't want to pay taxes, but I want to have the benefits of a society. I want to have low gas prices. I don't care about the future. We have gone from American exceptionalism, which Republicans used to like to talk about, to American mediocrity or lower. And I think that rather than wringing our hands,
Well, Alan, it's
serious.
actually part of it's arrogance. It's arrogance in believing we somehow are great because we just are.
Yeah,
It's a real lack of appreciation and gratitude for all of the sacrifices and all of the time it took us to get to a place where we are this big and this influential. It's a luxury belief for these people.
I love that point, Marshall, and I'm really glad that Gary has allowed this to go on. We've had some rather heated discussions, and I think that the peaceniks are part of the problem, because sometimes people are so eager to maintain peace and an environment of peace that we don't get to real issues. And I think that's one of the dangers of liberal thinkers in general. And I'm not a Democrat, but I find in many cases my Democrat friends are too eager to make peace. I wonder if discussions like the ones you and I had, Marshall, a couple of years ago, or within the time we've had of this, have led to a deeper respect for one another and appreciation that we can disagree, but we can find the areas where we truly do agree. And I think I love what Ron Reagan has to say about, if we can agree on 70% of the things, let's make progress on the things we agree on. Let's not spin it
I think our conversations definitely did produce that greater trust. One of my takeaways, both from conversations like we've had, and then from my own political experience, is if you tear can't build and solve a problem, and it's about solving problems. So if you can't solve the problem, you're not doing the right thing.
Yep.
Right? And to solve the problem, it means I have to.
They're so stupid. It's incredible. It's like a circle jerk for months.
Right? It's an explicit ask that I see you as a complex human, not as a flattened human. And I think when we flatten other people in that way, en masse, regardless which side of the aisle you sit on, you wind up with much more vociferous discussions about it, because people don't see each other as real. They see each other as some sort of totem for the other party or the other idea. If you have to see somebody as a human and complex, you're far more likely to respect them rather than dislike them.
Amen.
Amen.
And with that,
The green bean has spoken and interrupted yet again. Unsolicited.
Let's look back at the League of Nations.
Yes, let us look back at the League of Nations and that successful venture that we poured so much of our blood, sweat, and treasure into.
If the United States joined the League of Nations, we might have prevented World War II. And I think that the reason we didn't join the League of the Nations partially is because Congress said no. Where the hell is Congress or anything else in this agreement? We talk about we talk about the need for agreement, and I do appreciate Gary's reading of this. And the point 14 is incredibly interesting. It goes into effect. Now
No, not yet. The filing is in July.
Between now and whenever that goes before the UN or the UN Security Council, that allows the Iranians to do even more. So I think rather than wringing our hands, I wish the Republican Party gets. I almost use a profanity there. And either talk seriously about the 25th Amendment, talk seriously about impeachment, or talk seriously about passing
As soon as the Trump's arrangement syndrome show up.
Office has to be done by the Republicans, not the Democrats. Just ask anybody who was around when Richard Nixon moved from office. Thank you, Alan. We'll go to Merrill, followed by Brian.
Still kind of struck by what you wrote, what you read, and what Pluto said. I didn't hear anybody, I didn't hear Pluto mention Israel at all. I don't even hear what the supposed agreement is going to be as regards Israel.
So as it was written, it does not mention Israel, but it does mention ending all hostilities in the region, including Lebanon. So that's a reference without mentioning Israel to Israel. But Israel's not a party to the Memorandum of Understanding. So if, in fact, what Ella published and I read is accurate, it's just, what are you going to do? Hold the United States responsible for the actions of Israel, a sovereign nation? Or say that the United States is at default? The United States isn't in Lebanon. So how do you reconcile that? I don't get that, Bill.
I don't understand it. I also don't understand, Israel's in Lebanon for a reason. I don't understand that, somewhere along the lines, someone's got to, and I'm not saying it's our job. I'm not just saying that when we make it, if we were to make that kind of agreement, which, by the way, Trump was pretty tough on Israel today, very tough. I don't know if you heard, he said he didn't like Netanyahu bombing apartments and killing civilians. I thought that was pretty hypocritical of him, because he never said that to Russia about Ukraine. So I mean that's. But then of course Russia doesn't have anything to do with this agreement, so he can go along with that. I am flabbergasted because I'm not quite understood. I wrote down some of what you said, but I couldn't do it fast enough. I was typing it. What I don't understand is ultimately, what do we get? What do we get versus what we're giving away? What are we? I understand. I believe Axios.
Meryl's like the ultra MAGA critic. She's like more extreme than the extremists every single time.
Trump didn't listen to his generals. He didn't blow up Iran enough.
Some Republicans were not.
Crazy. These are like there's two types of Democrats. There's like the socialist communist Democrats that are anti-war, and then there's.
Do you want me to tell you what we're gonna get? We're gonna get middle finger from your friend, Mike.
Well, that's what I think we are being told by the people in the know are saying we can't. We went in because we said we could never trust Iran. That's the whole thing, was we could never trust Iran. So now we give them lots of money, and yes, the Gulf states give them lots of money. They will have access. By the way, it just says they're giving it. It doesn't sound like it's really performance, based on performance, because some of this money is coming to them rather quickly. And that still doesn't address, are we giving money to the Gulf states? You know, are there side deals, or we have to give money to the Gulf states because of everything that was done to the Gulf states? And so are they turning around and putting a reconstruction fund together so that it doesn't look like the U.S. is giving directly to Iran? I am very cynical, and I don't quite understand what we're getting other than, okay,
what am I gonna get?
They're gonna be.
What am I gonna get out of him? If I do this, what do I get?
Eventually, we'll talk about nuclear weapons, maybe someday down the road, and that's just kind of the direction we hope we can go in. I mean, that's just a whole lot of. Haven't we said that for years, and it didn't work out? I'm baffled by this, but I'm not going to tell you that I think it is completely outrageous that Trump would sign it, because I think that Trump is of the mind of, I want to get out of here, just come on, I'm busy. Just get it over with. I think that that's his personality. Gosh, I hope there's something more that we get, because by the way, terrorists don't just terrorize in other nations. They terrorize here too. Thank you.
And I will once again repeat, as I shall again and again, that we do not know whether what I read that Al Arabia reported, I accurately read what they reported, but we don't know whether that really is what the Memorandum of Understanding says. But it's written in a way that it sounds like it's what was written, but whether it was the final draft or not, I can't say, and we won't know until it's ultimately released. Thank you, Meryl. This is as close as we've gotten to seeing at least a draft of it.
Do you have anything to compare? Can we compare it to what Obama had? Can we compare it?
Well, I don't have time to go against the JCPOA, but I'm sure people will. And I think people definitely will after whatever they sign on Friday, presuming they do sign on Friday, is released. Presuming they release what they sign, presumably on Friday. Boy, there are a lot of presumablys that we have to put in here, because we just don't know whether any of this is really going to occur, do we? Thank you, Meryl. Go to Brian, followed by Montsev.
Hey, Gary. I agree with Meryl. I think she's right. I think that Trump is front-loading a lot of this and not expecting a lot in return in the short term. I think looking at this through a political lens, he's trying to get through the midterms. So he's going to front-load some money, some pullback of military troops. I have no belief. I have zero belief that he would agree to remove any permanent installations. I think from what I've read, they're agreeing to move some of the naval assets out of the immediate area and, not send any new or additional troops into the area. So I think that's being spun by the Iranians or others as a pullback of troops and, things like that. So I think it's just, spin that the Iranians and some of their, I guess, allies are spinning it as we're pulling back. But I think it's just a temporary, removal of the naval assets in the immediate area.
Well, that may be so, but that's not what Al Arabia published.
Yeah.
That's not what they published. Let's see. United States. The United States also undertakes to withdraw its forces from the surrounding areas within 30 days after the final agreement. Now, maybe that's the naval fleet, but maybe it's all the forces. And I will tell you, Alan and I both know a woman who has become a spokesperson for the regime, maybe ex-officially, and she's publishing the argument, and she's been doing this for several weeks now. Yay, we're going to get rid of all those American bases. They're all going to leave. And the Iranians have said that that's a goal of this war that they have. So if in fact that's what this means, and I don't know that it does, but I will read it again, verbatim as published by Al Arabia. The United States also undertakes to withdraw its forces from the surrounding areas within 30 days after the final agreement. So to me, that's all the bases. It doesn't say which forces, so that would mean all forces, in my interpretation anyway.
You can't remove the bases without congressional approval. So, the likelihood of that happening with congressional
He can keep the bases, but only keep a skeleton crew there. He can order the troops. He's the commander-in-chief.
But I think there's
deployed elsewhere.
I think it's much more plausible to believe that they would just move the carrier groups out into, a farther reach of the sea adjacent. They're not going to completely leave the area, and he's definitely not going to permanently remove bases and troops. He can't do that without congressional approval. So I think they're just trying to spin it. But I think what's going to happen is he's going to give them some low-hanging fruit. He's going to give them some easy wins so that they stop terrorizing the Strait of Hormuz. He wants oil to flow and
the spice must flow.
Prices stabilize, gas prices come down, and he wins the midterms. And then who knows? I think there's not a single person in the world who believes that they will follow through with all of the requirements in any agreement. Even if they do benefit financially or materially from any MOU or subsequent treaty that's created. So what he's trying to do, and I guess this is maybe a little cynical or pessimistic or political, if you will, I think he's just trying to get through the midterms. He's going to give them some low-hanging fruit, get everything to calm down for the next 3 to 6 months, and then when they invariably violate some aspect of the MOU or agreement, probably the investigations or the inspections, of the and removal of the Iranian.
I find that utterly abusive and offensive to men and women in uniform.
Here we go, Marshall speaking for the soldiers.
Not that
Utterly abusive and offensive.
but that they effectively function as a political cudgel for the president. He's supposed to have more honor than that. We are not supposed to use them that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Partisan using of
We're not supposed to use them that way. You're not supposed to use them that way.
Republics down. Aside from the fact
This
that
is Chicago News Incorporated.com.
That's a legitimate debate, and I think it is if I'm right, I think it is, reprehensible.
The spice
solely for that purpose.
must flow.
If he does lose the House and Senate, then his administration is bogged down in all kinds of political gamesmanship from the Democrats with impeachments or investigations or whatever else comes from that. So he's probably looking at it.
So what? You don't win the crass political majority by sacrificing the honor of U.S. troops. That is so crass.
It's so crass.
That's a legitimate argument.
It's so crass.
If I get bogged down, if I lose the midterms and get bogged down in all these personal domestic investigations and all that, and we lose focus, then we're right back where we started, and whatever gains we've accrued over the last 6 months or 9 months, by that time, will have been for naught. So he's probably looking at it like, I need to cool things down, normalize or stabilize the economy, reduce gas prices, and then whatever happens after that, because no administration is going to
mental retardation and brain rot, and I can't possibly be a part of that.
Long-term strategic American loss.
Nobody can trust the RGC. The only thing we can do.
I didn't say you could trust him. I said by doing what he's doing, he is sacrificing American strategic capital.
I'm agreeing with you.
He's doing it in a way that is.
But look at the alternative.
Detrimental to the future of the United States.
Look at the alternative. The alternative is that they continue to build up power, influence, weaponry, missiles, and nuclear material. So, the alternative is worse. As bad as what you're describing and what I'm describing could be, if I'm right, the alternative is worse.
The alternative is not worse. Sacrificing your honor for political gain means nothing. In particular,
nuclear weapon is worse.
In particular, when we didn't arrange our forces in a way to get nuclear weapons out of the country in the first place. If we were going to do it, we should have invaded the place. We should have raised 1 million additional troops. We should have gone to Congress, gotten the buy-in of the American public, and then asked our allies instead of demanding them like vassal states. We didn't.
Vassal
states. And the fact that in your mind it's somehow sacrificing the honor of men and women in uniform.
Getting a nuclear weapon, yes.
Bro, but to not get a nuclear weapon, you'd have to invade the place. We're not invading the place.
Well,
we don't have the money or the public support.
That's not all.
Air power is one thing, but air power doesn't get you the hidden bunkers or silos. It doesn't get you the uranium.
That's why
you have the military forces to do that.
He's not taking it off the table, Marshall.
Well, let me correct a misconception that was stated here, because while you two guys have been talking, I've been doing what I like to do, research. And it turns out that it's a misconception that the president cannot close the bases. So, according to the Justice Department, as Commander-in-Chief, the President holds inherent constitutional power to deploy and manage U.S. troops and military assets abroad. This authority includes closing or relocating overseas facilities, as these are typically considered executive actions rather than declarations of war. There is an exemption. It's called the BRAC exemption, and this comes from the Congressional Research Service. And they say, or it says, comprehensive domestic base closures and realignments require a congressional process known as BRAC, base realignment and closure. However, this legislation explicitly applies to domestic installations within the United States. Overseas bases are exempt from this process, freeing the president from the legislative hurdles required for domestic closure. Now, while what I just read is true, there can be congressional pushback, because while the executive branch has the unilateral authority to shut down a base, Congress can create indirect obstacles if lawmakers disagree with the base closure, they can leverage their constitutional power of the purse because it costs money to close the bases. But I don't know whether that would be even something worth considering by this current Congress, which seems to go hand in glove with anything the president wants to do. But maybe they would show some cojones and give pushback. But your statement, Brian, I'm sure you didn't mean to be inaccurate, but was based on a misconception.
Yeah, I just think there's zero chance that's going to happen. Trump is not going to fight to remove bases from the region. I mean,
Well, then why would he agree to it? Why would he agree to it if, in fact, this memorandum? Why would he agree to it if, in fact, again, this caveat, which I will repeat again, I'm sure, if, in fact, what I read from Al Arabia of what this memorandum of understanding purports to require, if that is accurate, why would he sign it in the first place if he intend to do it?
well, if he intends to close the bases, I'll eat my hat.
Well,
Zero chance that's going to happen.
okay, but then why would he agree to this memorandum of
Because it's
understanding?
being misinterpreted. It's being mischaracterized.
How's it being mischaracterized?
Because they're going to pull back on the carrier group out of the immediate.
How do you know it's being misconstrued? Well, how do you know that it's being misconstrued?
Things that are off the table.
Because I can read.
U.S. military
When you
political
read-
control is one of them.
So you're saying that the way you construe it inherently is correct, and the way that I construe it is incorrect.
I'd say I'm more likely to be correct, yes.
Probably.
Are you talking for us, Marshall, or for somebody else's benefit? I don't know whether he's trying to take the mic or not. It's hard to tell.
No, sorry, I didn't know my microphone.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
This next week.
Thank you, Brian. All I can say is I can
Marshall
read
Reagan, Hidalgo County,
what it
Texas,
says,
Republican,
what
Trump's arrangement
purports to
of
be
calls for
what's in the
invading Iraq
memorandum
with
of
1
understanding.
million U.S.
And the
soldiers.
way it is written, and you could be correct, but
That's out of the country in the first place.
people can decide for themselves
That's
what it says, and maybe a lawyer here can explain it better than you or I, Brian. Quote, the United States also undertakes to withdraw its forces from the surrounding areas within 30 days after the final agreement. It does not specifically say the naval forces, but maybe that's what it means. Thank you, Brian. We'll go to Monsef, followed by Len.
Thank you, Gary. If the 14 points that you read turned out to be true, the art of the deal could be really something that the Iranians start saying that they invented, not Donald Trump. Anyway, seems like from the beginning of the war to now, the priorities or the goals, I guess, for the Iran war have shifted dramatically. I mean, the first week we're talking about this is it. We waited 47 years for a murderous regime to exist, and we're not going to allow this anymore. They're going to have to give up what they call a nuclear dust. It's not dust, it's 970 pounds of enriched uranium. Completely give it up. Even said it was going to be transferred to the United States. What else? Regime change. I guess to make a point that we actually achieved that, he said yesterday, I'm talking about the president, that the new regime is much nicer. It's not. All the analysts out there say that the regime is actually expected to be much harsher than the previous one. I know the son of the Ayatollah is in control, but in Iran there is, I don't know where's Alan? In Iran there is multiple hierarchies and multiple, degrees of, if one is not in control, the others pick up. The IRGC is still in control. The son of the Ayatollah, although he's disfigured, still has a lot of say. But most of all, the situation for the Iranians didn't change. Yeah, they haven't been another 50 or 60,000 murders on the street,
There has been a lot of instances where people were hanged. It was an 18-year-old rapper that was hanged because he said, whatever. Still, people are still being pursued for posting stuff on social media and all that. So again, that initial promise that Iranian people go out, we are with you, again, didn't pan out. Add to that, there have been 38 times now that we have been told that a deal is about to be signed. Not in the works, but we are very close to signing. Basically, we just have to meet and sign, only to be countered by the Iranians saying, we didn't agree to any of the stuff that he's talking about. Only to go back and say, well, I guess they didn't agree, there's no deal. I mean, when you do it 38 times in 90 days, I don't know that signifies strength. But anyway, I have a question for you, Gary. Alan might be the right one to answer me. $20+ billion that is expected to be given to Iran right away. And on top of that, there is a reconstruction fund of over $300 billion. I wonder what type of planes are we going to use to transport the cash. I know it's not all coming from the U.S., but I mean, he said before again that Iran is not going to get a dime. So at the end, after this, the only thing that Iran lost, and I guess it wasn't a big loss because I was going to say their Navy vessels and their Air Force, they never had a strong Air Force. Iran always relied on its geography. Yes, the naval force was good to control the Strait of Hormuz, but that area of the water with the money that they're going to be getting, that would be so easily reconstructed like in no time. The missile counts, even though we were told that we destroyed them. I mean, there's like nothing left. Reports coming out from I think it was the Jerusalem Post, that said more than 50% of the long-range missiles are still in existence. So I hear people talking about, there is an election coming, and I don't know why Marshall thinks it's actually dishonorable for the president to use the troops in such a manner. But again, we're talking about Trump, so.
Because I think it makes them overtly political in an institution which is explicitly supposed to be apolitical. I'm not saying it's not been done. I'm saying every time it is done, it's wrong.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's not it. Everything that we think that our president is wrong about something, he embraces it as a badge of honor, thinking that he is the bravest president that would do something that other presidents didn't do. But I'll give you an economic explanation. I mean, we went into 90 days, I guess, of herd. There is a Linda, give you the real name, Linda Bilmes. She's a Harvard economist, and the estimation for the cost, they call it an economic cost of the war, is between $630 billion to $1 trillion.
If you're a small content creator,
that includes the munitions that we use, that includes the taking care of the veterans.
47 years for a murderous regime to exist, and we're not going to allow this.
That cost in the U.S. So, even if you just use the real, Pentagon numbers, you're still talking about close to $200 billion. The new budget, he wanted $1.5 trillion to cover some of the cost of the Iran war. But, that's why I said in the beginning, the priority shifted because the reality of the war shifted. We thought we were going to be in and out. He was told that it's going to be an excursion. The herd is going to be so short, and then we're going to enjoy these lasting good things like Iran with no nuclear weapons and it's not financing these terror groups in the region and it's not posing any threat to its neighbors. None of this stuff is said that it's not going to happen. Even the promise that anything nuclear, that they're going to give up anything nuclear or reduce enrichment or whatever. Even the stuff that I read was only like in about 60 days we'll start talking about it. Like there is no set promise that we agree that we're never going to enrich and we agree that we're never going to go after the bomb, which Trump said that was going to be the cornerstone of any deal. But we are in the summer travel season. We are getting close to the midterms. There is a lot of pressure on the president. We did not achieve the goals that he himself stated that were the objectives of this war. So it's more of maybe a temporary surrender for the U.S. than a victory. I hear it's going to be lower. They were lower in February, so it's almost like you put up a fire, and then you're going to be claiming victory when you put it down with water. That's not a victory. We just got something back that we already had. But the destruction on American family budgets and all that's going to take months to get back. A lot of people went into debt. A lot of people are having issues, meeting their, just buying food and gas. I sent you a thing the other day, Gary, about a record number of Americans dipping into their 401ks in order to, keep up with
record number of Americans are moving to third world nations in order to survive.
That too, but the people with jobs and all that, I mean, people are dipping into
Good work, Democrat.
So the pressure is trying to, and it seems
Good work, Democrat.
like right now that it's unending. At the end of this, if this memorandum of understanding is true, Iran is going to basically be the same with the promise that, later in the future, we'll talk about the nuke stuff. But I haven't seen anything that they're going to give up anything. They are going to get money, which before, at least we weren't talking about Iran getting richer. It was nothing about money. I heard J.D. Vance, I'll finish here. J.D. Vance talked about we're going to have this carrot and stick thing with Iran. Whenever they do, they give up
terrorizing propaganda, taxpayer slave $300 million into infrastructure.
Just allowing Iran
Obama,
to
the
sell their
black cosplayer,
oil,
CIA
which
puppet
they
ripped
were-
off black
they said that
contractors.
that's going to happen right
Good
away.
work, Democrat. $1 billion
Not
scam,
having
a waste of space. They could have bought 50 skyscrapers
oil
in
and
a
all
time
that,
struggle
gonna
for the
pump,
price of one condo
billions of
style.
dollars into their coffers. So at the end, you still have the same oppressed people in Iran being killed by the same regime that Trump now decided was actually a friendlier regime. I don't know how he defined that. We lost our allies. I don't know if any of you saw the president yesterday in France. When he went to meet Macron. Macron didn't come out to meet him. He actually sent the chief of protocol to greet him. And I guess they didn't make a big deal. I mean, coming out of the car. And Macron met with every president that was invited. That's the rule when you're the whole country. And especially with Trump, that's like he's the big guy. So they usually used to make time to make sure that he gets his proper protocol because he liked that. So, and then he said that Macron told him, sorry, I was busy talking to the Brazilian president, Lula. That's why I didn't come up to greet you. But that was the French media definitely made a point of that. No, that was expected because of all the trash talk that Trump was talking about France, especially the last couple of days with the 100% again increase in tariffs and all that. So again, we're losing our allies. The allies don't believe that it's a a long-term deal that's going to stand and that's going to solve the problem. That's all I have to say, Gary. I'm still wondering what kind of planes are we going to use to transport the cash.
So,
D-130.
so the
47 years for a merger.
your last comment brings to mind how Republicans went crazy about how there's no respect. He can't earn the respect. What a piece of crap president wearing a tan suit Obama was because of the improper protocol when he was rudely greeted at the airport in Beijing. And here you have the same thing with this president, and I don't hear such outrage about it. The money, you talked about the money. And since you raised the issue of the money, it's far more than the $300 billion that you mentioned. And I just want to read those 2 points again in what Al Arabia claims is the final memorandum of understanding that will be signed on Friday, even though I know that this is accurate reporting, but this is all that we have. So here are the 2 points that I would like to reiterate about money, because Monsef is correct. The president did say Iran's not going to get any money. We're not going to release any money through Iran. Number 6, the United States undertakes, together with its regional partners, to create a comprehensive plan agreed upon by both parties for the rehabilitation and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran, while ensuring financing of at least $300 billion. The implementation mechanism of this plan, as part of the final agreement, will be formulated within 60 days. And the next one is number 10. The United States undertakes that immediately after the signing of this memorandum of understanding and until the date of the lifting of sanctions, the United States Treasury Department will issue waivers for exports.
I don't know.
Also, they have most probably their head of federation, football federation. Okay, so didn't let either of those inside of United States for Iranian soccer team, and now they're asking.
It's honor, glory, it's parable. Like not so much parable.
Real.
And then people are like, oh, well, why were you so hard on Nazim? People ain't gonna like you. I'm like, they don't like me now.
Well, it's funny because Illumi was in the other room, and he and I really got at it, really heated, his usual attacks. And what was funny is, on the very next issue, he and I were like in complete agreement, and everybody was like, let's not talk about this anymore, this is boring.
Like the fireworks.
For real.
See, the only thing we can do. I didn't say you could trust him. I said by doing what he's doing.
Illumi is not allowed to hear no more. Who's threatening? My wife's
We'll see about that. We'll see how long that fucking lasts. Listen, if Nazim is allowed back in here, if he's then I guess eventually Mikhail will be also.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think Nazim's more reasonable than some of these other people.
That is true.
Really?
Oh my god, he hates Nazim.
It looks like the song
I've never had.
His arm just
Like the
because of
it looks like the prodigal son that Bob never had. Nazim is the friend of that son who's sleazy.
Yo, he's the stepchild. He's not even blood.
He's the adopted stepchild.
Not even adopted. Adopted means you wanted him.
You're not allowed to adopt in Islam. That's
yeah.
So he's like the.
You know why they're not allowed to adopt in Islam, right?
Listen. Let's not get into that. Well, this is the question. This is the question we got for you. We did this all day today. Okay? We did this all day today. Hold on. Let me mute Smiler because he got blank. So, Euro, when was the first time? I mute you. I thought you was open mic. My bad. All right. So Euro, when was the first time you heard about the Aisha story? What do you remember?
13th, 20.
No. Not the date, but do you remember? Like your reaction is all I'm saying. Like, did you initially believe it? Was it something you're like, wait, I gotta look into this? Like, were you still in denial after you found out? What is it like? Walk us through that process. Like, what happened when you first found out this stuff? Like, I'm not talking about like polemics or anything like that.
You mean that she was 6 years old?
Yes, and they consummated the marriage at 9. Like, when did you find that out, and how old were you?
I didn't find out until I was fairly old.
Obama, the black cosplayer, CIA puppet ripped off his
but like the first time I heard it, I was like,
good
wow,
work, Democrat. $1 billion scam, racist.
I was over the age of 40 when I heard this shit.
Yeah, and then what makes it worse? Like, I mean, everybody knows how bad it is. Like 6-year-old marriage, 9-year-old consummation. But then when I learned he was 50, that like changes it to like a whole nother level of bad, you know?
Well, I bring up the story about that guy, and he had a child marriage, but he was also like a teenager.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like very different when you have like 2 14-year-olds marry, or a 14 or 15-year-old, let's say.
Well, that's the thing, right? They got married. I think she was like 10, 11, 12, and he was like 13 or 14, but they didn't live together until he was old enough to get a job. And then the family let her live with him.
Yeah, and to me that's like very different. But when you have a 50-year-old...
And no one brings that up. No one ever brings that up about that guy.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. I mean, the whole Romeo and Juliet story. I mean, they both were very young. But the thing is, it's different when you're talking about 2 young people who say they're in love and get married. And you have a 50-year-old marrying a 6-year-old. I mean, I don't know anybody that is serious can say like, oh yeah, that's not problematic. I mean, it's just crazy.
So Euro, when I first found out, I thought myself that he did this because he wanted to adopt her.
Yeah, and then you find out the consummation at 9.
Yes. Because then, you see, if there was no consummation story, I would have been like, yo, this guy's a good dude.
Yeah, that could be...
Probably was going to get sold off.
At least it's possible.
Yeah, she was going to get sold off. He was like, no, at least I could save one girl. You know what I mean? Teach her the Quran. Not pollute her with fucking semen like it says in every other fucking story.
No, what Muslims say is that she was his...
In fact, if I recall, and I can go back and read it again, I don't want to do that. I'm tired of reading the darn thing. It talks about a time period under which it would take before the passages through the Strait of Hormuz is back to pre-war levels. So it's not going to happen overnight like the president said. Yes, we saw last night, and I'm sure if this thing is signed on Friday, I think once again, in anticipation of things returning, the price of oil will fall once again. That's my prediction. And that'll be great. And the president can tout that. And by the way, if things go south after that, well, he's got his piñata already hanging from the ceiling of the Oval Office, and that piñata is in the shape of Bibi Netanyahu. If things go bad, he could just take that stick and slam that piñata take this BB, take that BB. He already is doing that. So that provides him cover should things not work well, should the price of oil go back up because of hostilities between Israel and Iran. That's not my fault. That's Bibi's fault. You can blame those damn Israelis, or at least Bibi, for that. And he would escape, he hopes, I think, the ire of the voters during the midterm elections. It's actually a brilliant strategy if you stop and think about it. Thank you, Les. We'll go to David, followed by Armaze.
Oh man, a lot to absorb, Gary. A lot to absorb. Iran, like the United States, as an empire, just got lucky in terms of their geography, in terms of their mountains, in terms of their control of this waterway. Very similar to what we had as a nation building the colonial British Empire. And in fact, we were able to be buffered by two large oceans. One of I think the only empire in history, and Marshall's not here to corroborate, but I think we're the only empire in history that are surrounded by two big oceans. And that's given us a lot of luxury to decide how we engage the international world when it comes to conflicts. And Iran is now able to, punch above its weight quite dramatically here with this Hormuz situation and bringing our great nation to heel. And I think it's such a bad deal, Gary, that you've got congressmen, you've got senators saying, "Oh, I haven't read it yet." Josh Hawley, the Wicks, Senator Wicks, who's on the Armed Services Committee, they're basically telling the press they don't know what's in there, right? Because they know, like you said, Gary, as soon as the devil's in the details, when these devil details come out, they're going to laugh. They're going to say, how do you support this? And so we're playing sleight of hand here, with regard to letting this out, and being criticized for being disloyal and committing treason. That president just took it. I mean, took blow after blow. And where's the reckoning for Trump? I want to see the same reckoning for this deal, Gary. I brought up a horrible comment in the room yesterday. I apologize for how inflammatory it was, but I can't seem to think that any Israelis or Jews in America are happy with this either. And it's where's our alliance? Where's the investment that we'll make on both sides? You're right. Israel's being used now because Trump can play both sides, and he'll probably tell Bibi, "Listen, Bibi, I'm gonna have to embarrass you a little bit here on the national stage, but don't worry, your people still love me. I can still be prime minister if I wanted to." He's got that bluster, he's got that hubris, Gary, that I think is in a way not serving either one of our nations very well here. And so, Gary, I think at the end of the day, big business spoke, big oil, big insurance, all the corporations that have to still live off of this resource that we found over 150 years ago plus is possible. If we want to tame this Islamic fundamentalism in Iran, we need to get off oil as fast as we can. Otherwise, they're in the catbird seat for however many decades that we have to continue to rely on this substance. And there's nothing in the world to replace it yet. We can't run our militaries off of solar. We can't run our military off of we used to run it off of coal, but off of wind. So we need to figure this out before we continue to potentially bankrupt the world economy. I think we're really on the verge of hitting. So Howard, your mic's up. You got any questions? Howard. Anyway, that's all I got, Gary. I'll go ahead and land and let others speak.
So, David, let's go back to the origins of the MAGA movement. I think there were two chants that were the most prevalent. The first one was, "Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up!" And the and perhaps he was never serious about locking her up because when he took office the first time, he never took any real action to lock her up. But he certainly has moved forward with Drill Baby Drill, and any attempts at alternative energy are being blocked by this administration. They filed lawsuits against wind farms. And they come up with legal and ecological reasons for their arguments. They may be right, I don't know. This is not a new concept. It wasn't just Iraq's open. That was the concern for farmers, open control, price control, more so than maybe than they do today. And we desires. And so, I don't know if this is a recession or not. But the options are made. Recessions are made now. Somebody will write it down when it's really
בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. שישו ושמחו בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. בשמחת תורה, בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. שישו ושמחו 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 בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. שישו ושמחו, שישו ושמחו, שישו בשמחת תורה. שישו ושמחו, שישו ושמחו, שישו בשמחת תורה. שישו ושמחו בשמחת תורה, ותנו כבוד לתורה. 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 ודנוקה בודלה תורה, שישו ושמחו בשמחת תורה, ודנוקה בודלה תורה, שישו ושמחו בשמחת תורה, ודנוקה בודלה תורה, שישו ושמחו בשמחת תורה, ודנוקה בודלה תורה.
Chicago, the IDs. No grooming allowed. Check all the IDs, no grooming allowed.
I am the charioteer of the east, Lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my birth is from the house of death. God who commands is in my mouth. The God of wisdom is in my heart. My tongue is the sanctuary of truth, and the God is ever upon my lips. My word is accomplished every day. The desire of my heart realizes itself as the comforter always created. Thou art still nameless to eternity. Come thou forth, I say, and aid and guard me in this work of art. Charioteer of the east, Lord of the past and of the future. I see by mine own inward light, Lord of resurrection, who cometh forth from the dust, and my birth is from the house of death. Oh, ye true divine, hearts upon your pinnacles, who keep watch over the universe, ye who company the meal to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of wrath and see onwards to the heights of heaven. Flashing flame with the lightning of you, ever rushing on in the splendor of the daily glorified wrath, giving my life to the dwellers of the
I lost the conversation. I thought I was listening to one thing. I got lost. Could somebody reset the room for me so I can catch up? Because I don't know. I'm lost a little bit.
Information. Talking about delays, bro.
You know, I got something to say as far as the technology is concerned. You know,
fucking understanding of how the
I've
mind
been
of the
encouraging
human works,
everybody to get
and how
into the
the best
vibe coding
manipulated to get what you want
and
from them.
understanding
Came from
AI
Nazi
better,
fucking no bullshit, not a lot.
AI agents creating these relationships and getting a real good understanding of how to monetize
what you need to show
the
me or
AI.
demonstrate to me necessarily like
I think
the charge of harassment.
quite a few of you have actually been doing it. I know Michelle has said some stuff, and I think it's been about 3 or 4 different people I've heard say some. RJ is making money from it. There's a few that are making bread from it, and I think Umar, I know, is making bread. So we gotta really start grabbing a hold of this thing and allowing it to get real comfortable. And I like Kimberly. Kimberly's another one. I know she's making bread from it. I think maybe even Erica might be making some money from the AI. But I think it's something that we got to really grab a hold of, get real comfortable with, and let these Anglo-Saxons almost do what they do, and we need to be oblivious in a way. But then there's another side to that. I think we need to be encouraging more engineering from a perspective of building these drones. The other day, where they were talking about how the Ukrainians had made, and so I just think it's something that we should understand how that technology works, how to build these things. This is stuff that, you know, it's a printer and mechanisms. And, I can't say how to build it because I don't know how to build it. But I think our children should understand the technology and how to build them because it could be a game changer in the future for them. So, let's get into our prompting. Let's get into our engineering. It's always good works, but they'll be to see black engineers, computer science, and black engineers coming out. That's what I'll land right there. I'll put it right there just to throw a little chum in the water, see if we can get the combo started off that. What's your favorite one that you like to use? Is I fuck with Claude. Claude is my nigga. You know what I'm saying? And when I need to go into battle from a business, Claude. I got conversations with him where I just go back to the conversation just like I guess y'all do too, and we just start right back off. If I need contracts done, this, that, blah, blah, and he gets right back on it. So I don't talk to mine every day. I only use mine I use mine more like an attorney. You know what I'm saying? But which one you fuck with, John? I got Brock on my shit, but I usually feel like different scenarios. I lose for different scenarios because I know that thing, how I think. I just know it goes into a database and collect data about certain shit, and so that's just being lazy for the most part. But I actually, you use Word. Everything has got a value. You got some type of work. Sure. But so you use AI to make decisions. No. What I'm saying is, I know what it does to people. It doesn't affect me. I don't need it. I really don't. I barely use it. I delete it and download it often, very often. So it's not something that's embedded in my life. Because even most of all the information I gather, man, it comes from me literally just sit, ponder, think it. And I might run across certain shit, some shit might run across me, just browsing, whatever the case is. But for the most part, I get a lot of my shit just sit thinking shit. Just sit there thinking. I do this often. A lot of times you haven't figured out a way to incorporate it into your daily business or anything like that. You haven't figured out. Well, I mean, it'll come to you. Like I said, I don't fuck with my shit on a daily. No, I'm not saying that. I don't fuck with that shit. Not saying that. I just don't. I'm not like that. I don't fuck with it on that level. I'm not intrigued by that shit. That's not something that I'm intrigued by. It's more scary. Well, it's not so much about it being intrigued by it. You understand? It's more of a. I mean, it's what a need is. It's the tool. Like I said, the vibe code is real good to know. You know what I mean? And look up that. What vibe coding is? It's basically a breakdown of the way that you would
what kind of prompted to make the moves you wanted to make. But once you got a certain amount of shit in a conversation with it, you're just gonna end up just keep going back to that conversation, whatever that is. But like I say, I know people who use the shit like a therapist or something, which is like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me to use it like that. But I know people who have a real relationship with it.
I was around this girl one time, bro. I was around this girl one time in my crib, and she gets to.
And she was ugly.
The AI or the girl?
Every few 10, 20 minutes, she goes to asking this AI something.
Yeah.
AI something like, AI, my day was something.
Right. Like, they'll use it like a companion and shit like that.
But I'm like, bitch, you crazy?
Real talk. Hey, so now, but
what's wrong with being in the metaverse?
Hey, you know what? For me, I love somebody in the metaverse. That's where my paper's at. In the metaverse, really. I can get done with this truck and get straight meta. I want to be straight meta, but at the same time, I think that
what the fuck does that mean?
He want that shit in his head. He want that shit in his head.
No, I want all my bread coming from Meta. You feel me? Just
I don't hear bread coming from Meta.
He want to say
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I hear bread coming from Meta.
Well, I can't get into the proprietary, baby. I can't get all into my personal goings and comings on my bread, baby. I just say that's how.
See what I mean, Melissa?
Some proprietary type shit, baby.
It's the other way around,
in the motherfucking chat and taking the motherfucking over. Hello, how's everybody doing today?
What the fuck is that? What's up? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I at some point, it'll all be meta, but and the bread will be better. The bread is better when it's meta. You feel me? That was like a.
Y'all just came up with
that was a bar. That was a bar for you. The bread's better when it's meta.
Nigga, that was a sneaker bar.
That's not really how it works, though.
That was a bar. That was a sneaker
more cheesy, more cheddar. Bread's better when it's meta.
The bread being meta. Listen, the bread being meta, though, you're either a content creator. That's the thing. The people who are making the most money off of Meta are paying. Okay. They're paying Meta to run advertisements and do marketing. They're not getting paid from.
I hear you, and it's good to hear those ideas and that psychology. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And I encourage it. I want to see black people. I want black people to be free.
Encourage the psychology. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So I want my black people to. So Melissa, are you doing any matter? You in any matter right now?
Well, that's not the way you phrasing it is cracking me the fuck up.
The matter.
No, don't get him to say that.
You done started.
Well, no, Peter. I'm surprised that this is Trump's team. You know, Trump likes the Knicks. He loves the Knicks. You didn't know that?
For me. There are a lot of Japanese the Knicks.
Oh, you wanted the Spurs to win.
Such a fan.
Wait a minute. He said he wanted the Spurs to win. You wanted the Spurs to win?
Oh, the Spurs to win.
Wait a minute. He said, did you just say that they were going to win? I can't hear you. Say that again.
I'm not sure which match they are playing. Who with who? Because I'm not actively pursuing the news.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's over. They won. They won on Saturday.
So let me just.
Peter, just so. Understand y'all. He don't understand me.
No, he's gonna understand me because Peter. Wait, brother, let me just say this. You can try to 12 minutes on
No.
Let me just say this.
Peter,
Yes.
here's how you can relate. The Knicks haven't won in 53 years, but we won. We won on Saturday, so I just want to let you know.
That's
You can root
He said, Alhamdulillah. Oh, congrats. I'm sorry. That was me, y'all.
I just want you to know, Peter, how much of a Knicks fan.
Mashallah.
Trump risked his life.
He loves us the game.
Humiliation.
8-11.
To go.
This is not a winning lane, though.
Go watch the team in person. He loves this team.
Peter said he don't care. He said he doesn't care.
And the owner of the team welcomed him, embraced him like a brother.
Wait, are we going to be fair and mention that? Wait, hold on. No, Peter, you need the full story. He
said he don't want to hear it. He said you guys are emotional about this.
I'm not emotional.
That's what he said.
I'm actually non-emotional. I'm non-emotional.
You mentioned the 53 years of emotion. Nothing. I'm saying this completely dispassionate.
I'm going to say this as somebody totally dispassionate on this. I'm not even a Knicks fan. There is not a president who has been booed louder at his supposed home, which he doesn't live in anymore, rooting for that team. He was booed so much that the TV station had to censor it. So there you go. Now you have the full.
One moment, please. To Adam D and to Igor, I'm gonna call y'all fake. Y'all let Peter get in front of these people and say that the French team was better 20 years ago when Kylian Mbappe became the all-time goal scorer for France today and also has done many great things such as 18. He won in 2018 and he almost won in 2022, if it wasn't for those goddamn pesky penalties and the rest of that goddamn French team who was a bunch of bums that year and didn't do shit and made that boy put all the damn points on the board by himself.
Brad.
Yeah, your team. You don't understand.
Oh my God. That's the thing. Britt, are you there?
Yes, Brother Messi, I am here.
Okay. Hope you're doing well. I just want to remind you that if you keep screaming while your voice is trying to recover, it will in fact never recover. No.
Listen, Brother Messi, my voice, it has its moments.
Your voice sounds worse today than it did yesterday.
It sounds beautiful. Thank you. It's because of the headphones, okay? It doesn't sound as bad as it did yesterday.
Lazarus is out there fighting the good fight.
Exactly. Me and these 3 children in this trench coat, okay?
I saw this VCR. I know that was Britt 10 years ago. That was Britt 15 years ago. She's like, no, this is me. Like, don't you have a chaperone? In your
Exactly.
She's not.
Exactly.
What's going on?
You're not home? No, I said
no.
Oh, you lying. Exactly. Oh my God. You and John Neese have definitely taken. Oh, I thought you was tall. And Brother Messi, I wanted a Mini Cooper. My family, my grandmother would never let me have one. Okay? But I drive a Jeep. So, shows you how.
Not you know to hop up.
Not too much, okay?
Not too much on short people. Not use all your strength to get in the car.
Pidgey, you ride in a short crowd too?
I'm 5'5", but I thought I was average. I didn't think I was short.
until one day one of my coworkers said that she always knew it was me coming in the door because she couldn't see me. She just saw the door open. And I said, what? And I was like, oh my God. And then I realized I was short. But I never knew.
Oh, not the Lollipop Guild had a new member. Oh, Lord.
That's
My
cute.
non-existent wife is 5'3.5", so I know that's short. Oh my God.
Brother, I take offense at you sitting up here saying I have to jump into my car. My Jeep is not lifted, so I'm not jumping. Thank you very much.
Not that was a feature. That was a selling feature. She's like, okay, I can do this one. I can't do that one. It's too high. Oh God.
5'5" and short. I'm just telling you what I love said. Did you see what Roger said? That's hilarious. I agree, Roger.
And like, I don't like this beat. I just listen. Thank you so much.
DNA.
You know, and the wild thing is, when I look to see who could possibly.
Jerry, how you get down there?
His first lady, like 95% of the time.
What I did?
The way you friend people on staff is insane.
Hey, what?
I'd be like, everything. Always first lady. They friend with everybody.
Gold diggers.
That's madness.
I just want to know why is gold digger a bad thing? That's what I want to know.
I mean, in a way, you know, a lot of gold diggers anyway.
Are you bored at home? Where are you from, Sasson? You need some attention. Let me give you some attention. Oh, where are you from, Sasson?
I live in Tehran, capital of Iran.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're in Tehran.
Yeah, Tehran City.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you okay with the MOU?
What?
The MOU.
I don't know. What's that? Oh. Maybe explain?
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, not unless you want to explain it to him, Igor.
No, it's a memorandum of understanding, so something in the United States and Iran. I can speak a lot of words of American. It's so beautiful language, but I can't speak like American. I try to listen and learn. My English is not so well. I'm sorry.
So you don't understand English, but you understand gold digger. Yes, he can speak that very well. So you go around asking how to speak like slang or something? Is that what it is? So then you want to come in here and practice your slang?
Yeah, I love the American accent. Oh, you speak Hollywood, right? You speak Hollywood.
I tell you, I mean, he could say gold digger better than any other person.
Exactly.
Percentages there. You can't fight the force. That's
What I say,
that is concrete.
I'm just.
Yeah, I understand. I'm giving you an answer. I'm saying you could go the route of saying they don't exist at all, in the sense that they don't have ontology. But if you're demanding that they have ontology, then okay, let's just say they're abstract objects.
Okay, but do you believe abstract
Okay, sure.
No, I'm not even a theist.
Okay, but so if abstract objects exist and they have an ontological quality, right? And so I'm asking, if God cannot change the ontological quality, like if it's good or 2 + 2 or whatever, then I agree. Okay, fine. Let's go with your argument that.
Why is it a threat? Why is it a threat to omnipotence?
If you keep interrupting me, it's very hard to keep the train of thought. I'm trying to get to the end of the sentence so I can make my argument. Okay, so if you already said that like in the world that you're creating, the omnipotence, God does not need to be omnipotent because He doesn't have to have the power to change what is metaphysically necessary. That is your argument. I'm asking you, if that's true,
it's not my argument.
That is not your argument.
I never said He doesn't need to be omnipotent, right? What I said is that
omnipotent in the way that everybody else but you uses the word omnipotent.
No, I just went through and I explained how we could just be modal monists and say metaphysical modality is broad logical possibility. And so, okay, fine, he can do anything that's broadly logically possible, right? Which means that he cannot violate conceptual truths. That's what that means.
Yes, but who created the conceptual truth is my question.
They're uncreated. They're not created.
But so then if God did not create them, so God did not create this part of the universe.
They're abstract objects. They're not concrete objects.
But they are still objects, and they were created.
Yeah, but when you say universe, what does that mean?
Everything that exists.
I think the universe. Okay, the universe includes God, so God obviously didn't create the universe because He didn't create Himself.
And there were.
I have a question. This is.
If you're saying the universe is everything that exists, then obviously, it would include God, right?
To me, maybe we just have different ideas of what God means. To me,
no, we have different ideas about what universe means.
All right, maybe that too. But if God is, do you believe God created the universe or not?
No, I'm an atheist.
All right, so then why are we okay? But under your conception of God, do you think? I mean,
I can defend it better than most of the actual theists can. So no.
Okay, so if to me the concept of God means that He created. He didn't create Himself because He's eternal, and so does the.
However, entered the family line.
The abstract objects are also eternal, right? But they're abstract. They're not concrete, like
dress. Is it awkward or embarrassing for you?
It is. So using
yeah, if we're taking the model where we're going down the tree of saying God commanded because it's good and then we're saying omnipotence means God can do anything that's broadly logically possible. And we're understanding, if we had a statement like the good consists of X, then we're X is some huge junction of whatever the good consists of, then that's just a conceptual. Okay, so it's broadly logically necessary that the good consists of X. And God can't change it because He can't change broad logical necessities, but that doesn't threaten His omnipotence because He can still change all the things that are broadly logically possible, to change. These things are broadly logically necessary, so there's no broadly logical possible world where they're different, right? And it's like He can still be omnipotent, okay? I mean, this is why, this isn't what the Euthyphro dilemma is about. Because originally it was you said that the Euthyphro dilemma was an argument against theism. And I was like, no, it's an argument against divine command.
No. I was asked, why don't you believe in God? And I said, the Euthyphro problem. I didn't say that the Euthyphro problem is the all-in-all argument that defeats the existence of God. It was a personal question, and I answered in a personal manner. When I met the Euthyphro problem, I was like, oh, this is great. And that was it. I mean, it's not like I believed in God anyways before, but I thought that was a really interesting argument that defeats the notions of God that people come up with, that they can do anything, that it knows it all, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you see how, the whole point you were making was that if He can't change the good, then He's not omnipotent. And I'm saying, no, it could be that He can't change the good, but He's still omnipotent.
Yeah, I mean, by your definitions, by your limited definition of omnipotence, impotence, then it's not omni anymore.
No, I expanded it to just say like you can do anything that's like broadly logically possible.
Which is not extended; it's actually narrowing it.
From what?
From omnipotence.
Right. So you think omnipotence requires that he can like instantiate contradictions and stuff, right? Is that what you're saying?
That will be omnipotent, yes.
Yeah, but
he can lift a rock heavier than
you're starting from a concept of omnipotence that is already like incoherent. That's what it seems like. You're just assuming a concept of omnipotence that should. Yeah, but then why even use all this use approach stuff? Because it seems like you just think the concept of omnipotence is incoherent. Like I don't. You think that omnipotence just you think
I'm saying God.
No. But but you are saying that though, because like part of your definition of omnipotence is that it makes contradictions possible. Like that's what you're saying it is.
I'm saying that.
Well, why is it incoherent to say God can express circles by that clear?
Strict definition.
If you say something entails that P and not P is possible, all right, then it's incoherent.
But I mean, you're making my argument.
The idea is
saying that you cannot know the truth.
I am in some sense making your argument, right? I'm saying like
all our categories of logic and every math, and he's just is beyond these things. And
yeah, I guess the idea is that.
But that doesn't seem incoherent.
It is incoherent. It's incoherent in the sense that
it's possible.
Yeah, it's incoherent in the standard sense anyway. I mean, I don't know what else we mean by incoherent.
I guess it's not incoherent in the sense that
it doesn't cohere.
It does cohere. It's just he just is.
No, because it results in
in the sense that it's a contradiction.
Like it basically just says like if there's an omnipotent being, then the law of non-contradiction is false.
Yeah.
It's at very least like now like you could have like a very consistent solution to that or something, right? But it actually gets tricky with this because. Again, I think it puts your modality there. It just has there's nothing that's necessary, right?
Yeah.
It's an ungrounded modality, so like every statement is so anytime you put the diamond out front of an expression, it's true, right?
Okay.
And then you just like don't have a logic that way. Like I don't know. It just seems completely crazy.
I know it seems strange, but it doesn't seem like it's like a incoherent thought. I don't know.
What do you mean by incoherent?
It's literal gibberish. That yes, it's not literal gibberish, but it's incoherent in the sense that it's contradictory.
Right. Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's gibberish either. Like I'm just saying, if it were gibberish,
A contradiction is by definition not gibberish, right? Because it has to have propositional content.
Yeah, like if it were gibberish, I wouldn't be able to say all this stuff I'm saying.
I'm saying something more than it's not just. It's more than just. It's not. I'm not saying it's gibberish. I'm saying that like there's a real sense in which there could be a being that transcends logic, transcends like math, transcends everything. That like these are like laws that apply in all of these. Like,
well, what is the could then? What modality is the could?
I don't know.
It's the transcendent modality.
Yeah, again, it's like transcendent. I've thought a lot about this actually, because I think it's an interesting question of like what happens when you have an unrestricted modality, right? Because like basically a modality is defined by what you hold as necessary, at least as far as I'm concerned. That's the best way to think of it.
Modality.
If you're just talking about a modality that's like I would just say it's like a trivialist modality where everything's possible, right? It's not very useful, and it's not clear how you go from that back down to a useful modality. And it's just like, why would we define our concepts in relation to that?
Yes, stay with modality, man. Well, Deepak, you just hold your horse, so I'm going to have to mute you because there's no such thing as mod abuse. Now, I just wanted to say.
A question though. It's more of a rhetorical question.
Andrew, assert your authority right now.
Yeah, stop your nonsense right now.
Assert your authority, Andrew.
Andrew, well, look, it's just a rhetorical question. I don't need a response, and ideally Mark would be here to hear it, right? But he's not. So I'll just say this: like, what if God created the universe? If God created the universe, then why is there
Okay, thank you. Jorge, how is Rodriguez doing? I haven't seen Rodrigo. Sorry, haven't seen him in a while. Jorge.
Sorry,
Are you there?
sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I said, how's Rodrigo doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
Rodrigo is in the audience. I haven't spoken to him.
Oh, well, that's Rodrigo. Come up here, you crazy old hoot, you.
But Andrew, I think you should.
Yeah, now look, let me just say something. Sully is very dismissive. He's kind of like, he does his thing. Like, he kind of goes like you.
Did you
No, but me. Stop. No, I said you.
Definitely.
I voted to it.
Wait. Here's the thing, Sully. Are you saying you don't have the utmost respect, intellectual respect for my friend Rodrigo?
Sorry, bro.
No, I didn't say anything like that.
Sorry, friend.
Okay, watch your mouth. Okay, Jorge, just
I actually do respect Rodrigo. I just find him
I
like.
do not.
Okay.
But he's a smart guy. He's smart and like an interesting fellow. He puts me to sleep a bit. Unfortunately.
Well, yeah, he's auditioning for the app Calm. He's
a lot of people in Detroit has this effect on a lot of people. I actually don't find Detroit boring, but like most people do. But
dude, I tried watching
he is boring.
fucking debate between him and Adelstein, and I was like 10 minutes in.
But like Detroit is like my philosophy guru, dude. Like
yeah, I get it. He's
like Detroit was the person who like really like kind of took me under his wing and like showed me some of the wizard word ropes.
I get it.
And
listen,
Jorge,
I'm trying to. Jorge, my brother, does God exist?
I think you were on a call when I said
Of
no.
course God exists.
No, that was Jorge.
Thank you, David Bobs.
Jorge does, and by the way, welcome yet. But Jorge, does God exist? My brother.
No, I answered no earlier.
Wow.
Okay, can I do it this way? Hold on, fish you, beef.
Assert your authority, Andrew.
Hold on. Jorge, have you ever heard of the guy on this app? Or, well, he's not, I guess he is still on here. He doesn't hang out too much, but he goes by the name of Darth Dawkins.
No, that's funny.
Okay. It is funny, like Darth Vader and Richard Dawkins. But anyway, he's a Christian, well, a professed Christian anyway. He doesn't act very Christ-like a lot of times. But that being said, one of his questions to atheists, which I kind of love to, it's like his.
God exists because.
Hey, watch it, Piper! Don't you dare steal my thunder, Piper! I will exert my authority. Assert it.
Exert thoughts, okay? Like,
shut up, Deepak.
Andrew,
okay.
assert your authority over Deepak right now.
Be quiet. So hold on. But Jorge, Darth Dawkins says this to the atheists, and he's like, it's a signature question. But he says, God does not exist because. And that's the question I have for you.
Okay. My reasons is more the opposite. I mean, like, what are the reasons that I should believe in something that I see?
Oh, bird shifteroo.
Answer a question with a question.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let me respond to it, David. Well, yeah, you are right, David. So I won't move you down for that. But please keep your submissions, interjections minimal right now. So, Jorge, I do want to say that I don't find that response to be very satisfying. Because the thing is, it's like saying, well, look, I don't have any reason to think that it does exist, so therefore it doesn't exist. And I don't know if that's right? That's not right. Right?
Well, it's the idea that I should believe in something because I'm told that it exists.
Oh, no.
So, but you're saying now, why should I evaluate as a grown-up whether God exists or not? And
yeah, it's a grown-up question.
Yeah. I mean, like I'll answer it both ways. For a while, I did believe.
Okay.
I did a lot of hallucinogenics, and I asked the question. I literally asked the question several times.
What kind of hallucinogenic?
Like I asked, like, I wanted to know if there's God. This is the answer, right? What do I do? I pray to you, etc., etc. And the answer, like all my friends that was journeying with doing psychedelics were.
What was this like?
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I want to know what type of psychedelics.
Yeah, it was ayahuasca, that location.
Oh, okay.
And so these people, they were like, oh no, like obviously there's something wrong, you need to come and do 5-MeO DMT with us, which is like a stronger one, right? And so I was like, this happened year 1, and I would go like to the sessions like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year.
Why does God exist though? Why are you doing this?
And
I'm asking why God doesn't exist, not your fucking life story.
Well, because it's coming.
No one cares about your reviews.
Jorge, don't get offended. Please don't get offended. I'm glad you're here.
Everyone was thinking it.
Yeah, Fritchie's just saying.
Just fast forward. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
I went to basically.
Just let him go.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
Basically, I went to the mountaintop. Let's put it that way. And
there was no God.
There was no God. Okay. And then all my friends. When I woke up, when I went from the trip, my first word was, because I was shocked to see the people, was Jesus. And they were like, you see? And they were like, you see? That's.
And you're like, no.
So, anyways, that would be like the most personal experience that I had with that. Without rationality, without logic, without people problems.
Right. You had the non-inferential experience of a non-God.
Correct.
And then we have like it's an instant. What did they say? It's a days ago. Letty, I'm doing it. It's instance of what Zaletti was talking about.
I know.
It's like you take the mushrooms and then the universe tells
I was thinking this.
No, I know, but the funny part is that we also have Philip Goff going around saying he just did 5-MeO DMT and he had like a powerful experience that God totally exists and like panpsychism is true.
Oh boy. So Jorge, do you think that really is going to happen? Do you think it's veridical, let's say, or do you think it's likely true that you had the experience of non-God and that people should really put some emphasis?
Experience of non-God.
Yeah, I mean, is that like? Do you think that that's like a? Does that
transcendent experience?
Yeah, of the non-existent God.
Everything is material.
Right. Right. Do you find that to be a little bit, like a horse pill, like a little bit of a hard pill to swallow?
No. I mean, it's interesting because now the responsibility is all on me. Right? Like I need to figure out what's good.
Oh God, you would not think that was a good reason to believe God existed, would you?
No, but he's saying he took drugs and then he saw not God.
But the not God.
I'm just saying that's not a good reason either.
Yeah, but the not God experience trumps the God experience.
All right. Exactly. Okay.
No. I know.
Yes, of course I was dreaming. Of course I agree with you.
I'm trying to engage.
Hades, unable to detect these things. Despite being British, her psychiatry detected.
I'm irritated that you're memeing. Someone should be.
We're not going to meme anymore.
Shut up, Deepak. Frenchie,
can you mute Deepak and send it down? There's no such thing as Okay. So, Jorge, here's the concerned anyway. Yeah, exactly. So, Jorge, look, so you come up.
Right, by the way.
You come up.
Then do that.
Jorge, you come up.
We got to visit you just because you did drugs.
Well, yeah, but the thing is,
I know, God's not visiting you right now.
But it's my issue. I don't like your dialectical norm. I don't like the dialectical norms that you're not abiding by right now, Sully. So the fact that you aren't, so I'm going to deal with you. I'm going to deal with you. I just want to say this. You are cramming a lot into the statement that you made. I went to the mountaintop. You're cramming a lot into that. Okay.
I missed fucking Clubhouse. I just realized.
It's good stuff. It is. I would miss it if it wasn't that I was on it most of the time. Anyway, but here's the thing, Jorge. I'm just wondering. So when you say that you went to the quote mountaintop, unquote, and saw that there was quote no God, unquote, something like that, right? Yeah. Well, that doesn't seem like that should have any kind of weight for anybody else. Like I believe.
Does it have any weight for you?
Yeah, well, exactly that probably too, but I mean, he's the
You
leading one.
actually think like you fucking did drugs and like
Actually perceive the truth of the metaphysical truth of the world. Yeah.
like what kind of nonsense is that? Like
I mean, it is a little bit wild, Jorge. Do you think that there's something in man that you can activate certain aspects of your psychology or, some kind of your neurology or neurobiology or whatever it is?
Some latent Christian would say.
Yeah. But did you,
It's more like in these spaces, let's put it this way, I was the only one that was an atheist, right? Like, and I was not always an atheist, right? I believed in God before the psychedelics, and within the psychedelics I realized, and philosophy too. It was both philosophy and psychedelics.
okay, well I don't know what doesn't seem like the psychedelics is doing much work, right? Because like or to do any work, we'd have to entertain this like very silly notion that somehow like doing psychedelics like reveals to you the truth of like atheism or something. Which like, why would anybody think?
It's a very intense experience, and most people say an experience and I should say also like in the beginning of the journeys I did believe, I did think that it was like, wow. Okay. And I was one. Became one and so on. But then I started to realize that those were just hallucinations, and I wasn't really. It was just me talking, or whatever, or like my subconscious, some sort of. I was able to explain it and the visions and everything I saw with evolution and philosophy and patterns, fractals, all of that, math basically.
Okay. Do you think there's something? Why would you think that since you didn't experience God, that therefore there is no God? Do you think that God should have revealed Himself while you were on these, drugs, ayahuasca or whatever it is?
No, it's more like I asked the question. So I asked. Well, first of all, it's not only like, are you there? Hello, right? It's more like, what do I do? Like, it's more like, if it's true, then all I have to do to be good is to follow what God wants me to do. Then it would be helpful to just get
to know what that is.
Right. So I asked the question, give me a sign, basically, and there was no sign. As a matter of fact,
but you could do that at any time. So why is it any different that you did it when you were on drugs?
Yeah. Do you think that gives you more like epistemic access to God, or that God will be more likely to respond to you because you're on drugs? I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, the drugs does nothing, dude. Like it just makes you feel funny, and then like, oh, it's because I feel funny. I must be like tapping into some truth of the universe.
Right.
You're just all that's happening is some chemicals in your brain are going burr. It's not telling you anything profound.
Right, because you could have all these latent like beliefs or not necessarily beliefs, but like ideas that have been floating around your head, and some of those can become very real to you while you're on hallucinogens. I haven't been on hallucinogens. I know.
So oh my gosh.
Wait, Andrew has done hallucinogens?
Shut up.
You just missed what Andrew had.
God damn it, Sully, I was
going to say is that he had these beliefs in God, and then when he was he saw the ways in which they were illusions, that he had reasons for believing God, that he realized upon these drug experiences that they were, he saw through the
That's not what he said, though. That would be some other reasons, though.
Failing to steal, man. That was.
What does that have anything to do?
God doesn't exist, Sam.
If he believed in God for bad reasons and then saw through those reasons,
that doesn't mean
that has lost the reasons.
Then he would just be an agnostic.
Right, doesn't establish that God doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, it makes him no longer believe in God.
That's not what he said, though.
Yes, like, I thought you were marrying a Russian woman. Why are you fucking, like, cozying up to this random guy?
He's not a random guy. He's a fucking blind. He's working it.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, you got the joke in there, Piper, so.
Yes, there you go.
Wait, what about the... So just mute Sully, please.
What is Sam even think, though?
Sam doesn't know what he's saying. Sam thinks we're being uncharitable.
He's fucking retarded. We are in something. If you believe, let's just make it, you believe that unicorns exist for bad reasons.
Yeah.
And you realize that they're bad reasons.
Yes, it doesn't mean
unicorns exist.
Doesn't mean that it does. But I asked him, Beef, the whole foundation of this, the whole core, right? Give me the reason that you believe God does not exist. God does not exist because, you remember that?
Yeah.
Right? saying this whole thing about how he took hallucinogens, saw the mountaintop, and there was no God, right? And I'm saying that no, that's not really good. It certainly shouldn't give anybody else any reason. And you probably should. I agree with Piper. It's pretty bad, right? You shouldn't base your belief on that, like about God's existence. And so I'm just like, now you want to come in and act like we're being uncharitable and say, well, you're not steel manning him. I mean, dude, his reasons for believing in God dissipated, so therefore no God. Like, what is going on right now, bro?
Turn around about accepting religious experience.
He was literally giving an account of why he does not believe anymore. And then if you
That's
go,
not what we asked him for.
And then I saw, yeah, okay, fine. He answered a different, adjacent question to the
Don't you think that matters? Don't you think that matters? Don't you think that matters? Don't you think that matters, BP? Answer the question you're asking and not a question you weren't asked. Don't you think it matters? I love you, BP.
It's pretty reasonable if someone goes, why don't you believe in God?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to, okay,
You're turning into an eagle.
Is that you face my wrath for me to Jorge. He's just feel, man, what he's trying to say.
And is your wrath just like toxic charitability? Is that what your wrath is?
Yeah, because you don't want him to think it's
That's not the question they asked him. They didn't ask him, why don't you believe in
Oh my
God?
God, he asked a slightly adjacent question. Oh no.
Slightly adjacent, but
It's not even a different question entirely.
what's meaningful for the dialectic, right? I mean, is that he like doesn't just say, oh, you know, I mean, he can do the agnostic thing, that's fine, but that's not real. Right? I mean, I'm asking him, what are the reasons to believe there is no God? I mean, I happen to disagree with him, BP, so I'm trying to see where he's at here, right? I want to see if there's a little smoke. What's going on?
Yeah, Sam, stop trolling Andrew. You know that.
I'm not in any way trolling. So
Yes, you fucking are.
He gave it. So he gave you the useful thing. You guys debated that for a while. Then he was asked, "Why don't you believe in God?" And then instead of he gave you a personal explanation rather than a philosophical argument. Now you go, okay, I don't want that. Now we can continue the conversation and say, okay, Jorge, what's a philosophical argument other than the youth throne one I mentioned for why you don't believe in God? And we can just continue.
No, I can ask
rather
this.
than freaking out.
I hear what you BP. I'm not freaking out. I'm not freaking out. It's more like this. How does your experience show you that there is no God?
Yeah, the point was that his argument was dumb.
Yeah, how do you experience no God? That's what I want to understand.
Like Sam, the theist hypothesis doesn't predict that, like, if I take ayahuasca, that, like, Yahweh will talk to me. So how is that evidence that Yahweh's not real? That, you know, I did ayahuasca and he wouldn't talk to me.
I think that a lot of people do
Sam, let me help
DMT
you.
is in fact like a conduit to the divine. So it's not like you can just a priori. I mean, it is a possible hypothesis.
Let's converse a little bit.
Sam, I said this.
It could be a conduit. We can just ignore that for a second and just say he was just telling you that he saw through the illusion.
Well, we appreciate that, but that's not what I asked him.
It's not working. All right.
Yeah, go ahead and simple.
There isn't. Yeah, I'll simplify.
Okay.
So the thing is, like, there's an expectation generated, right, based on all these experiences that he's supposedly going to have one, right? And he goes up there and he doesn't have one, right? So it disconfirmed the hypothesis that if he were to do this, that he would have this experience, right? Evidence.
Which is not what we asked him about.
But I mean, the point is that just there's no reason that expectation, if there is any, is an exceptionally weak one. Right? It's like saying, "Oh, I believe in God," and then I generated some reason. I predicted that, like, if God exists, then I raise my hand, like God.
Yes. Or if God exists, He will speak to me.
Look, if leprechauns exist, then I would expect them to live in life and get soft.
Yes.
There are no
No. If God exists, He will speak to me while I'm on the toilet and only while I'm on the toilet. And if He doesn't,
told him that
God does not exist.
Squeeze it out and dug it.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to go that far.
This isn't his only example.
Okay, all right, let's give Jorge another chance.
Do you guys really think that the leprechaun hand raising thing is anyway equivalent to psychedelics, and you had some expectation that you would have some conduit?
I mean, a little bit, yes.
Yeah, but then you had a misunderstanding. The point is that, I try to phrase it like this: the theistic hypothesis is the thing that generates an expectation.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay,
I said it was good.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to mute you. All right.
Calm down, Andrew. But, okay, so like the DMT hypothesis isn't the thing generating the expectation that like if I take ayahuasca and ask God to talk to me, I should expect a response.
Yeah, we understand that. This is like the
you might have some other like mistaken belief that would happen, right? But like if you,
that's not what he was saying. I think he just took it as though like you were asking him like, why doesn't he believe?
That was not what we were asking him.
Well, he misunderstood.
Can somebody sing the?
Why you were criticizing him?
Yeah.
I think I could have sworn. Yes, I am.
Your wife is not your person. Your wife is not a name for profits.
We'll get this replay back. I'm pretty sure if we look back, Andrew or somebody asked him, why didn't he believe?
No.
Yeah, right. No. Oh my God!
Everybody be quiet. Look, Andrew specifically did the contract exist because.
Oh, but then there was another point.
I think Congress is right about that.
Why does that even change the fucking? Why does that change anything? It's still not a big reason.
Well, maybe, but then the critique is just that like he was like he was irrational, right? It's not that this is not an
It's
answer.
not that he's not dislodging the
story. Remember, it started off with the very long version of the story that he wanted to cut short, right? So you are just
Can somebody mute Soleil? He's cutting out. Okay.
Cutting out. Why do we need to mute him? Okay.
Well, just mute him anyway. Just
yeah. And suddenly I'm about to mute you, even though your mic is already muted. Oh shoot!
Why didn't he like that was his like experience?
Ask for that.
I think Andrew did though actually.
Okay, look, if that happened to Deepak and Converse, I understand what you're saying. You're saying like he's saying the reason he doesn't believe.
This is like the final.
But that's not the same. He's saying I don't believe because I had this section and it wasn't met, therefore I don't believe. And I thought, okay, fine. And his expectation was critiquing that, and that's what Deepak's saying. Maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
Right. I get what you're saying.
I mean, I do think it is pretty stupid to be like, if God exists, then that must mean I must be able to contact him by doing this.
Just critique that. But what they're trying to say, what these little simps are saying.
Since race
The way you were telling the story sounded
can
like
be a factor in.
you wouldn't disagree either, right? You just said, this is how I came, and then later, like I learned some.
Yeah, no. I mean, all of the critiques are absolutely valid. I was dying.
The sex also.
Jorge, join the house, brother. I like you. There's a banner right above that says "Join God's." We haven't made a room in there in a while, but I hope you do come and hang out more. I like your attitude. So that being said, yeah. Not to mention you're like a superstar, so maybe you can like get us in with like some big people. Like I don't know, like Donald Trump or something like that. That'd be cool. Okay,
That was fucking racist, Andrew.
how's that racist? I'm not saying. Well, I say
You said that because his name is important.
Okay, but also, so the two charges are true. That my reason to not believe is just is nonsensical. It's just.
Through social barriers, sometimes is Chicago not spending enough on LGBTQ grants? Since race can't be trusted
And the reason that I didn't understand.
sex also not protected and everybody
Because you were asking me the question right after I took a shit. I just like knew to smoke marijuana. And so I was stoned, and I went into a spiritual fucking monologue.
I love the honesty, brother. I love the honesty, brother.
So
Look, man, some of us can take a hit and not do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not sorry, bro.
Congress wants to defend you because he's simping hard right now. Go ahead, Congress.
I just looked at your profile. You're a Timothy Williamson fan.
He made a movie with him.
That's a good man. Wait, Timothy Williamson, like from Knowledge and Its Limits.
Model logic as metaphysics.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Fish you, Converse. Yeah, he is good. I like him.
Next thing you know, he'll be like a knowledge first epistemologist.
I like it. Look at this.
Jorge, I can tell Jorge knew at least about this stuff when we were having that earlier conversation.
Knowledge first pissed him off. That's why he believes God doesn't exist.
I like this thing. No. Knowledge just means
Oh, I don't know.
you know something only if it's true.
Oh, is that the KK principle?
Well,
That's actually not what knowledge first is.
I don't know about the KK.
Deepak,
Most people agree that you can only know things that are true.
No. I didn't say it. It's very specific.
If you know something, then it's true.
No.
That's what you just said.
No. I said you know something only if it's true.
Sorry, is that a biconditional?
No, it's not a bicondition. That's exactly right.
No, it's pretty straight. It's quite straight.
So you're saying if you know something, then it's true?
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody agrees with that.
No. You know something only if it's true. Come on, so
okay, but the point is that it's either if and only if, or it's what I said, or it's if it's true, then you know.
Know something only if it's true. Oh my God.
If and only if is a biconditional.
Jorge, listen, Sully's
on purpose because it's not a biconditional.
What is it? What is the form of the thing you're saying? Because I don't even understand.
It's an arrow. What is the formula? Like if I write the arrow.
A material conditional.
It's just it's a conditional that goes backwards. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, good point. I asked this to Williamson because I didn't. It's interesting, this fucking book that I did the movie about. Like I thought I understood it, and then I kept learning about it, especially, and this was one of the lessons that I got. That the biconditional goes both ways, and the other one goes one way, and this one does not have a fucking name. This
Which way does this one go?
Backwards.
What to what? No, but
from
the arrow is pointing from one thing to the other thing, so it doesn't matter if it's backwards.
Yeah, hold on. From truth to knowledge.
So if something is true, then you know it? That's crazy.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
You keep changing what I say.
He's a smooth brain. Or repeat it one more time.
I think he got that last part wrong. But like what he said earlier was perfectly fine. It was just like he just said like if you know it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you know it is true is trivial, and that's not specific to knowledge versus if it's true.
You're not getting it. Okay. Let's take a step back. Okay. Why did first knowledge first epistemology come about? You guys remember the get your problem, right?
Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
So how much in grants
I
in
know
Chicago
knowledge first.
and Illinois spent of taxpayers' dollars?
Yeah, the get your problem is like how many bricks does it take to call it a wall, and how many pieces of sand is it to call the heat?
No.
Okay, thank you.
That's sure. All right. So let's
repeat it again, Jorge. Oh, you want to some more conversation? Yeah, I'm trying to let Jorge go. Jorge, go. I know you're getting interrupted once, so go ahead.
Let me illustrate with an example.
Use crayons. Use crayons for.
Medievals did not know that the Earth was flat. They thought
right.
That
well,
it was flat.
The Earth background didn't have a fine, but they didn't know it because it's false, right?
Correct.
Right. But that's not unique to knowledge first, is what I'm saying. That's something almost everybody agrees with.
No, it is unique to knowledge. Okay.
Truth being one of the conditions of knowledge is something that almost everybody accepts.